Patrick, let's start with you. So I know you're hiring, and you've been very bullish about the economy and the fact that you are creating jobs. But given this number that we just saw, Patrick, it sounds like employers are hiring less. Is that consistent with what you're seeing?
Well, we're certainly not. I mean, right now we could probably use 15 to 20,000 more people in our stores in the U.S. We've been adding jobs, and our business has been performing well. So we're growing. We're looking for people who want to be a part of something special. And as you said, 90% of our franchisees in the U.S. started as hourly workers. So we're certainly still very, very bullish on our business and over the long term on the U.S. economy.
And yet, Patrick, as you know, for those who are upset and not happy with their jobs right now, or no jobs, they would look at the fast food protests that are going on in your industry, and they would say that's inconsistent with what you just said. In fact, they would believe a majority of fast food workers are very discontented with their pay and with the labor situation, and that something needs to be done, Patrick.
Yeah, well, I mean, we're different. Most of our team members are delivery drivers. They're tipped. They're making up to kind of $15 an hour with tips. So, I mean, Domino's is kind of in a different place. But ultimately, the solution to this is if you get the job growth at kind of 250 to 300,000 per month consistently, that's going to solve a lot of the issues out there. And I think if you get that and you see the average hours worked starting to move up again, I think that solves a lot of the issues in the economy.
But Mohamed, it's not, though, just about creating the number of jobs, right, Mohamed? I mean, we've seen wages stuck at these levels. And in fact, for the bottom 80% of this country, they've not seen wage growth. They've actually seen wage declines, Mohamed.
We have. And in fact, the Federal Reserve data released yesterday tells you that in this recovery, the average, the median household has done worse. It is just the top people that have benefited. So, Patrick, a question to you. Your perspective on the debate about the minimum wage. In terms of the research, there's growing research to suggest that an increase in the minimum wage at the national level would be a good thing because, one, from the economic perspective, it creates demand. Two, it limits the erosion in social cohesion that we've been seeing. So how do you react to those arguments?
Yeah, I think the key is you've got to get people into the job market. You've got to give people the opportunity to start to build skills. The majority of the people who are working who are living in lower income households are actually, there's unemployment in the household. So you've got to get people working. You've got to give them that opportunity onto the first rung. I started as a busboy in a restaurant. That was my first job many years ago. Yeah. And I think that's similar for most people. So if you get them started, at some point, if there is enough demand for more jobs, you're creating more jobs, it's going to move income levels.
Do you feel, Patrick, and not to sort of zone in on this issue and put you on the hot seat that much, but do you feel, I mean, because I know Domino's workers have been part of these minimum wage protests, do you feel that the corporate should be doing a better job with their franchisees, with your franchisees, to allow workers to move up the ranks? Because clearly there's some discontent within the lower ranks of your franchise restaurants.
Right. I mean, look, they are moving up through the ranks, and I go back to the comment that you started out with, that over 90% of our franchisees started as hourly workers. There's a great opportunity to come up, become a manager in our stores. So those opportunities are absolutely there. But look, I get the frustration out there, and the frustration comes from there simply aren't enough jobs. It's not driving income levels the way it needs to, and if you get that moving better, then a lot of these issues start to solve themselves.
But bottom line, should the minimum wage be increased? You say no, Patrick?
I think overall it worries me when you've got as much slack in the labor market as you have today. It worries me to increase the minimum wage.
Okay, and I want to fit this one question in, Patrick, because it is a fun question. It is about the fact that football season's starting. I know Super Bowl is what, your biggest day in terms of sales, of numbers of pizzas. Tell me, I'm assuming some of the hiring you're doing is in anticipation of the sales you're going to see on that day.
Absolutely. I mean, absolutely. As we go into the fall, you're going to see us all over television, a lot of advertising in college football and particularly NFL. And over the course of the fall, we ramp up. And so I go back to right now, we could probably use 15 to 20,000 more people in our stores around the country. And we're in the process of doing that now.
Full-time or part-time?
50. Both really. We need people who want to come in, work on Friday and Saturday night and on Super Bowl Sunday, and we also need people who come in and they're looking for full-time employment, want to work up, want to have kind of the opportunity that we provide in Domino's.